Hello children, how are you? Hope you all are fit and fine at your home. So let's start the next topic of chapter metals and non-metals. In the earlier video we have already studied about the chemical properties of nonmetals, in which we have studied the first property, that is the electronegative character of nonmetals. As you already know, what is electronegative character? The tendency of a nonmetals to gain the electrons from the other, that is called electronegative character, to form an ion, that is the negative ion, that is electronegative character. And in the second property we have studied only one point, the reaction of nitrogen with oxygen. As you already know that when nonmetals react with oxygen, they form nonmetal oxides, which are either neutral or acidic in nature. But when metals react with oxygen, they always form basic oxide. But when nonmetals react with oxygen, they always form acidic or neutral oxide. Already we have studied the reaction of nitrogen with oxygen. When nitrogen react with oxygen, they form 5 different compounds, and that is completely depend upon the amount of the availability of oxygen. If the amount of oxygen is less, some other compound like nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, it will form. If the amount of oxygen is moderate, it will form dinitrogen trioxide. If it is in abundant excess, nitrogen dioxide and dinitrogen pentoxide will formed. And it is also depend upon the temperature of the reaction as well as the catalyst. Now comes to the reaction of other nonmetals with oxygen. So here first we have already studied as nitrogen nonmetal. Now second one is carbon. When carbon react with oxygen, children, you can see that two types of oxides it form. Two types of oxide, that is carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, and both the oxides are not acidic. One is neutral, that is carbon monoxide, and one is acidic, that is carbon dioxide. So when carbon dioxide react with water, see, when carbon react with limited quantity of oxygen, they form carbon monoxide. When carbon react with excess amount of oxygen, they form carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide, when react with water, they form carbonic acid. This one will not react with water or doesn't form any acid because it is neutral oxide. But you know, carbon monoxide is very harmful gas for us. When it's mixed with our hemoglobin, it cut the supply of oxygen in our body, and on that time a person feels suffocation, as you have already studied in your junior class. See, carbon monoxide is very poisonous gas when inhaled in combined with hemoglobin. As a result, hemoglobin loses its oxygen carrying capacity. Inhalation of carbon monoxide may even cause death due to suffocation. So children, yes, it is neutral oxide, carbon monoxide, but it is very harmful gas, and also one of the major component of air pollution, carbon monoxide. And this one, carbon dioxide, is acidic in nature. When it reacts with water, it forms carbonic acid. Now comes to phosphorus. Phosphorus reacts with what oxygen. It also forms two types of oxide, that is phosphorus trioxide and phosphorus pentaoxide. If the amount of oxygen is limited, it forms phosphorus trioxide. If the amount of oxygen is excess, it forms phosphorus pentaoxide. Okay, so it depends upon that one, and both the oxides are acidic in nature. Remember that. Now comes to sulfur. Sulfur on burning in air forms two oxides, that is sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, and both these oxides are acidic in nature and dissolve in water to form acid. So children, sulfur when get limited amount of oxygen during burning, it forms sulfur dioxide, SO2, and when sulfur react with oxygen in abundant amount, in excess amount, during burning it forms sulfur trioxide, and both these are acidic in nature. Please remember, both the sulfur oxide are acidic in nature, and when react with water they form sulfuric acid. Okay, now comes to hydrogen. Hydrogen is also a non-metal, but it is a only non-metal which can form both cation and anion. It has the capability to donate as well as accept the electron, as you have already studied in electronegative character. So hydrogen, when react with oxygen, it forms one oxide which is very useful for our day-to-day life, and which is one of the basic need of our life, and that is called, yes, water. So H2 when react with O2 gives water, and it is neutral, neither acidic nor basic, it is neutral. Okay, so here do you know some other points we will study. Yellow phosphorus is very reactive. It readily reacts with oxygen with air to burn. That is why yellow phosphorus is kept in underwater. Oxide of sulfur are responsible for acid rain and smoke. So children, phosphorus, one of the very reactive non-metals, it is always kept under water because of its highly reactive nature. Because if it is comes out from the water, it react with oxygen present in the air and start burning. It is highly reactive. And oxide of sulfur is SO2 and SO3, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Both these are acidic in nature, and they both are responsible for acid rain and the smoke, that is the air pollution. Both are responsible for this. Now comes to reaction with halogens. So first of all, I would like to clear the meaning of halogen. Halogen means salt maker. This means salt maker. Okay, so there is a group of 5 elements that are fluorine, chlorine, astenine, and bromine, and one more is there, that is iodine. So these 5 elements are very reactive. That means whenever they react with any non-metals, means they have high tendency to make the salt. Okay, so whenever they react with non-metals, they always make a salt. They always have the tendency to make their salt. They are highly reactive, never ever found in free state. Always they are found in a combined state in the nature, because they are highly reactive, and always placed in the 17th group of the periodic table. So this now we are going to study about the reaction of non-metals with halogens. Halogens means salt maker elements. There are 5 elements in halogen group. They are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and astenine. Okay, so non-metals react with halogen to give covalent halides. Covalent halides, as I told you children earlier, that when non-metals react with any oxygen or halogen or hydrogen, whenever it react with anything, it always form covalent bond. Covalent bond means it share its electron. Okay, instead of donating, it share its electron. So whenever non-metals react with halogens, they form covalent halides. In pure state, the halides of non-metal do not conduct electricity. So here you can see, for example, with chlorine, phosphorus when react with chlorine, it form phosphorus trichloride. Phosphorus when react with chlorine in excess amount, it was in limited amount, it is in excess amount, it form phosphorus pentachloride. Hydrogen when react with chlorine, it form hydrogen chloride. Sulfur react with fluorine at high temperature to give sulfur hexafluoride. You can see here SF6. So like fluorine, when they react with chlorine, when they react with bromine, when they react with iodine or astenine, same types of reaction takes place. These type of salt comes out. Okay, so that's why these halogens are always found in nature in a combined state. Now comes to the next page, that is page number 72. Here you can see point number 4, properties of nonmetal. Point number 4, reaction with hydrogen. Again I told you children earlier that nonmetals whenever react with anything, it always form covalent bond. So nonmetals when react with hydrogen to form covalent hydride. Thus in the hydride of nonmetals, hydrogen is bonded to the nonmetals atom by covalent bond. And the hydrides of nonmetals do not conduct electricity. They don't have the capacity to conduct electricity. They are an insulator, not a conductor. The hydrides of nonmetals may be acidic, basic or neutral. So here you can see one different thing, that here the hydrides of nonmetals not only acidic and or neutral, but it also can form basic hydride depending upon the nature of the nonmetals. For example, sulfur when react with hydrogen when react with sulfur, it forms hydrogen sulfide, which is weakly acidic in nature. When hydrogen react with nitrogen, it forms ammonia, that is basic in nature. Hydrogen react with oxygen, it forms water, it is neutral oxide. So children, here you have concluded that whenever nonmetals form any hydrides, they may be acidic, basic or neutral in nature. Now comes to reaction with acids. Actually nonmetals do not displace the hydrogen from dilute acids, cannot displace it. So this is because nonmetals are not able to give electrons for the reduction of H+. As you already know that nonmetals act as oxidizing agent and not the reducing agent. It doesn't have the capacity to give the H+ ions, but however in some condition, in some very rare condition, it forms the corresponding acid. Okay, for example, when sulfur react with nitric acid, it forms sulfuric acid, nitrogen dioxide and water. But that is in a very rare condition. Actually nonmetals cannot displace the hydrogen ion from the acid, and hence it are not able to react with acid because it doesn't give the hydrogen ion. It doesn't have the ability to give the electrons. It always have the tendency to accept the electrons and act as a oxidizing agent instead of reducing agent. But in rare case you can see this type of reactions. Now comes to the next property of nonmetals, that is the displacement reaction. As we have already studied in the case of metals, what is displacement reaction? That is the displacing of highly reactive metal, the displacement of low reactive metal from the high reactive metal from its salt solution, that is called displacement reaction. And in case of nonmetal also it is same, the displacement of low reactive nonmetals from highly reactive nonmetals from its salt solution, that is called displacement reaction. Certain more reactive nonmetals displace less reactive nonmetals from its salt solution. For example, chlorine displaces bromine from bromides and iodine from iodides. So here you can see KBr, that is potassium bromide, when react with chlorine, chlorine displaces the bromine and it takes its potassium ion and form its own salt solution KCl plus bromine. When potassium iodide react with chlorine, again you can see that chlorine takes its potassium ion, because chlorine is more reactive than bromine, chlorine is more reactive than iodine, and form its own salt solution, that is potassium chloride, and iodine is separated. Here you can see bromine gets separated. So these are the chemical properties of nonmetals. Hope you all have understand, and I think so the comparison between the metals and non-metals on the basis of their chemical properties we will discuss in the next class. Okay, so if you have any doubt children, any doubt, you can call me or WhatsApp me during the daytime, and you can ask and your questions, or you can clarify your doubts. And also notes I will not give with this video, because already I have provided 2 notes earlier. I know that many of you are not writing the notes regularly and have lots of pending work. So in this week you will write the previous notes, and those who have already written, no need to write again, but those who have not completed their work, they will complete their work. On good, thank you, have a nice day.